Hi, this is Dr. Allison Powell Hicks, Managing Editor of IONA Magazine, here with McKinley Freeman. He is our cover, and so we just were gonna have a nice chat, kind of about life, entertainment, love maybe?
Let's do it.
All right.
That face.
Dramatic, I make a lot of
Hey,
things.
let's do it.
All right, so I've been reading about you, and I've been watching the show and everything, and I really feel like you're what we call like a modern Renaissance man. I mean, from producing to acting to poetry to corporate America. So can you tell us a little bit about your progress and how you got to the place where you are now?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Second, I just refuse. I refuse to stop. I'm stubborn. Like if somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm like, but wait, who? Why? Who are you? I've been that way since I was a kid. You know what I mean? It's like a no is just a yes delayed. It's like, okay, I can't get it this way. That doesn't mean it's the only way on the face of the planet to get there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. I mean, all the years I played basketball in college. I played University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, go Illini. And I grew up thinking I was gonna play basketball forever. And then at some point, I reached a fork in the road, and I was like, I can either go play, some places overseas for decent amounts of money, or I could maybe recognize that I'm not going to go to the level that I like to go and figure out if I can reach that level doing something else. So I went to Chicago. I worked. I graduated with a bachelor's in finance. Worked for CDW, it's a computer company in Chicago. Worked there for a year. Did really well. Got a kind of a grant to go back to graduate school. So I got my MBA in marketing and management information systems, and had a job before my second semester of business school at IBM. I mean. So all that stuff worked out. I graduated, I ended up graduating with honors and moved to Atlanta, was working for IBM, minding my own business. But the thing is, listen, man, the thing is for me is that the time that we have is finite. The time that we have doesn't last forever. So for me, from when I was in fourth grade to my junior year in college, I knew somebody that died every year.
Oh my.
Either family friend, someone that I knew by name. And after, 2-3 funerals, as a kid, it's like, you realize there's a point when people that you care about won't be around anymore. So it behooves me to make the most of the time that I do. So I've tried to live by that. But more importantly, as it relates to opportunities and all these other things, is I just recognize the opportunity of the moment, even if it's just in passing. And I choose whether to maximize it or not. But at the end of the day, I refuse just to waste time. And for me, all these other things just came because I just refused to quit. It's just a choice. I made a choice and I'm gonna try it. There's no guarantee, and I'm very fortunate because, as you know, there's no guarantees. We could do everything in life the correct way, and at the end of the day, still not reach our dreams. So every day I wake up and I'm extremely grateful, and I don't take that lightly, and I don't take it for granted.
Exactly, and I think that's what your life shows us too, is that there is no one way.
The one way is the way that you choose, informed by knowledge that gets you in the direction that you want to go.
Exactly. Prepare, have the knowledge, and then be ready for the opportunity when it knocks. You have to be ready.
And the opportunity may not look like the way you want it to look. You understand what I'm saying? Like the opportunity is actually going to be hard. You know what I mean? Like in this business, Hit the Floor is Hit the Floor January 18th, Vh1. I mean, it's it's going to be great. I'm really excited about the show, and we've got great fans. But I had to get to a place before Hit the Floor even became an idea that if I never booked a job, I'd be okay with it. And I got to that place. So I temper my excitement with the realization that I remember, which is why I'm grateful that none of this stuff happened overnight. I remember it. You know what I mean? I worked 70 hours a week for IBM and then went to acting class. I took conference calls on the way to a producer session to test for a pilot. You know what I mean? I get off the phone with a team of 40 people in India talking about business development plans and then go audition for a Fox TV show. I did that. So for me, when that part of my life went away, things freed up more time. So with that is where I was like, okay, boom, let me start figuring out this creative part of my life. You know what I mean? And even the whole time I was doing that, I was writing, I have tons of scripts ideas. I've published a couple of books of poems. I don't know, man. I just get bored.
The poem books are what particularly excited me because you have 2 volumes, right? Based on words that people on Twitter proposed to you. They just said a word and then you wrote a poem based on each word, maybe 20 words.
Exactly.
Right?
So what I used to do when I first moved to LA was I would just challenge myself to write. I'd give myself a word, I call somebody to give me a word, and I'll call you back in 5 minutes with a poem. And that's how just creatively, I was like, I just need to do something besides harass my management and everything, you know? So I start writing and stuff, and then next thing you know, it just kind of turned into this thing that I actually, the greater clarity I gained between my thoughts and what I actually wrote, the more I realized that not only myself, but everyone, as they begin to figure that out, that we really all do have something to say. And truthfully, I think that's the most important thing, because we live in a world where sometimes people feel like they walk around and nobody sees them. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. But anyway, so that's the explanation. I mean, and I have an idea, I go through the end of it, and if it works, cool. If not, I'll come up with another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think you have a great platform. A lot of people, look up to you, and you're, a wonderful example of a creator. You're a creative individual that just goes beyond one specific industry of creativity, and you really expanded in a lot of different areas, from computers all the way through to writing.
Well, hey, listen, I appreciate it, but again, I just think you have to be stubborn, and you got to be a little nuts. You got to be a little nuts to wake up in the morning and nothing in the world tells you that you need to be on a TV show, but something on the inside says there might be something. And every scene you screw up in class, every audition you mess up, all those things work together, man. But it's the job of, as an artist, in my opinion, is to, maintain that peace of mind, because we don't get paid. It's easy to work when you show up, when you get hired. Fastest day ever. You know what I mean? It's the time in between those days. That to me is what we get paid for, because that's the super hard work. You have to maintain a positive peace of mind in an industry that more likely than not, you're going to be told no. So you have to get there. Yeah. And if you take that as a note and elevate it to life, it's no different. Stuff is going to happen.
It's fine.
Okay, well, stuff that comes out of rear ends is going to happen. And, you just have to, I don't know.
You just got to be ready, and for the times of famine.
Yeah. Well, famine comes, just like feast comes. You know what I mean? Fear is simply the presence of the unknown. And if you know that life isn't linear, that it has ups and downs, when they come, we're affected by it. But we also I recognize, and we as people recognize, that they don't last forever. And it's that perspective that allows you, in my humble opinion, to maintain some sense of peace of mind when it doesn't seem like you should be able to. Yeah. It's just like defining something concrete in an industry that's literally frameless. You know what I mean?
Formless,
there's no
shapeless,
accountants, astronauts. There's a linear progression. This is like, man.
Yeah, in an industry where I think it's about 98 to 99% of people don't work. It's hard, to maintain. And you have a very positive outlook. It seems like you have this internal sense of gratitude.
That comes from a strong sense of faith. I mean, I didn't grow up in the church, but on my dad's side, there were preachers and all these kinds of things. And all that stuff was cool and fine and everything, but it didn't really mean anything. It meant something to me because it meant something to them. But when I experienced just things in my life on my own, the belief that there's more to this life than just, I don't know, pick something. You know what I mean?
Anything.
Yeah. Whatever the thing is that's bothering you, there's more to life than that.
It's deep.
The thing that you're worried about is actually small compared to what the rest of your life has ahead of you. But it's the reality, in my opinion, is that in these moments we put undue pressure on ourselves, and that distorts the way we see the world. So now we start looking at ourselves different because the world doesn't look the way we thought it would. So now there has to be something wrong with me because everything out there seems to be great.
Because of expectations.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares about it? Who cares about that?
Like, be like the water.
Define it yourself. Be your own flow. Why the worst thing to me would be running the race of your life and getting to the finish line and somebody being like, you weren't supposed, this destination wasn't for you actually. You were actually supposed to be down the other way, a few more miles.
And I think that happens a lot when people try to force, and they try to force either relationship, they try to force an occupation, they try to force something in their life, and they don't allow it just to flow the way it's supposed to flow.
That's true, and I agree. And I will also say that things come easy. There's so much information and all this other stuff. We're used to, if I want a pizza, I can press an emoji button and somebody will bring one to me. You know what I mean? Like,
to your door.
Yeah, it's like, what, So now to me, I know what it's like when things get hard. I've been there. That doesn't mean I'm going the wrong direction. It just means things get hard.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes if you're not used to that, you could take that moment, which is actually a challenge wrapped in something that's pissing you off, and move beyond it and take with it whatever you need.
Conquer.
in the next thing. But instead we see an obstacle. We see an obstacle and we be like, oh, this isn't for me. It's too hard. Compared to what? Too hard compared to what?
Yeah.
Our ancestors used to die going to get groceries.
Fire.
Get attacked. Get attacked by bears. We're being asked not to kill each other by the color of our skin and not to text while we're driving.
The hardest things our generation has to deal with. Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
Is it that difficult?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so.
No, I love it. But it's real, so we can lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Some
Please.
Well, first of all, this was a lot of fun. I love these conversations.
No, well, to me, it's factual. It's important because too many of these conversations happen without people talking about stuff that's important, and that's the problem. Like, I don't care about. I told Netta, there's probably literally only 5 things in my life that I care about. The 6 through infinity, I give 5 shits about. Don't care.
What are these 5 things?
Family, friends, my faith, my career. And all those things are together. Yeah. Those 3 things are actually one. Yeah. And after that, I don't need to buy no more clothes, give 5 shits about material things. Don't care. I do not care at all. I just want to go to the gym, train some, work. I'd rather be working.
I think those are the things those are the things that stick with us. Those are the things that mean something to us. The cars, the shoes, the purses, the hair, whatever, that's fleeting.
See, here's the thing. I sincerely believe that you have to get to a place where you're okay giving away everything. Because truthfully, if you're okay giving away everything, that means you're okay having nothing. And to me, I'm okay having nothing because I've proven to myself, first and foremost, that's the only thing that matters. I've proven to myself that given in a specific arena, I can do it again. It's not about it's not about whether he shows up or she shows up. It's a question is if I show up. That's it.
I love that. Content. You're content, but you're always wanting to be better, to challenge yourself to be better, but you're happy where you are.
Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
If I died tomorrow, why would I want to be unhappy?
That's a beautiful duality that I think a lot of people have a hard time with.
It's hard. It's a skill.
Yeah, it is.
But you know what else is hard? Holding your breath for 5 minutes.
Got to build to it, right?
Swimming in the Olympics, running 100, anything is hard. Yeah. If it's worth having, if you recognize the value that it has in other things, then it's worth it. But anyway, having said all that.
No, this is awesome.
Yeah, well, I just run my mouth. Netta's, I can see in her eyes she wants to wave my hand so we can change topics. So let's try something else.
Okay, let me see. So let's talk a little bit about, and this is almost also kind of a deep question a little bit, but how art reflects reality. So your character on the show is in a salacious relationship. Has that ever been reflected in your reality? Anything salacious like that? You seem pretty
good. Listen, you don't arrive at answers that make sense by just sitting around thinking of it. You know what I mean? You have to test things against your real life. And I've grown into this person because I've made mistakes. I've made decisions that I wish I could take back, but fortunately, I try not to make the same ones twice.
Smart.
I don't know if it's smart.
No, it's smart. It's smart. Learning from your mistakes is
I
smart.
think it's just common sense. Okay. You put your hand on something hot, the next time.
Some people got to.
Next time you do it, they'd be like, "What are you doing? What is going on with McKinley? He's standing in the kitchen with both his hands on the skillet. What is happening?"
Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's talk about what's next. Do you have any plans for the future? Or are you just kind of flowing where you are right now?
Right now, just with the show just being around the corner, it's just been so much fun. I mean,
so excited.
I really am.
We're so excited.
The show, and I'm glad because the fans of the show waited so long, and we've worked so hard, and we've all kind of felt our fans' pain, and we really appreciate you guys, and I think you're gonna dig what we do this season, so for sure. But next, I mean, I produced a TV show called Patriots. Kristen Saber has actually started out as one of the assistants on the show, and now she's a full-fledged writer. She wrote this amazing pilot, so I helped her and her team produce that. It's super funny. It's called Patriots, and it's spelled Patriots like cigarettes at the end, like TTES.
Oh.
So it's a kind of a play on words, which is super smart. And it follows the world of student government in a. It's kind of Glee meets Parks and Recreations in kind of a super fun way.
Kind of excited about it. Where can we see this? Where is it going to be?
Well, right now we're still kind of taking meetings on it, which is great. No, it's done. It's in the can. It's finished. The script's done. We got an outline for the whole first season. So hopefully that's one thing. Another thing is I acted and produced in a movie called Illicit. It's an erotic thriller that it's based on a married couple that both have extramarital affairs, and it poses the question is, can you have everything without losing it all? So it kind of follows that. And the cast is great. Dean Cain, Vivica Fox, David Ramsey from Arrow, Essence Atkins, Tank. My buddy Adamson from Hit the Floor is in it. Shireen Crutchfield. There's a lot of really strong people in there.
I can't wait.
So yeah, and Vivica Fox, I mean, I've done a movie with her before, and she's fantastic, and she's amazing in it. And so that's fun. And then I did a movie for Pixel called Hometown Heroes, which should come out sometime this spring. But I'm just hustling, man. I'm writing. I've got a few other ideas floating around. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't throw the word polymath around easily, but you're definitely a person who, you're motivational. You have a lot of things on your plate. You manage them all very well. And I'm very thankful to have had you on the show today.
No, I'm glad
You're
to be here. It's super cool. I think, I don't know, there's this myth I think that people buy into that like we're all different from one another.
Yeah.
And the only thing I've done is made a choice to do something and refuse to do anything else.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm willing to accept the hard work and the pain and the not seeing family sometimes. Like I went home, I hadn't seen my parents in a year and a half, and I went home in the fall, and I was supposed to be home for 2 weeks. I was only there for 3 days because they were like, "Oh, you got to come back for this thing." But fortunately, I was able to go back and stuff. But it's those kind of sacrifices. But ultimately, I make them because I only care about 5 things, and those choices that I make automatically come back to those 5 things that I care about. So I'll always make the choices that's in the best interest of those things.
Your drive is beautiful. It's something that I think a lot of people
I'm just
can
crazy.
learn from.
I think I may be crazy. I don't know.
No,
we'll figure it out.
No, I'm a professional. You're not crazy. You're not. All right, thank you so much.
No,
so
for
everybody
sure.
tune in to Hit the Floor. It'll be on January 18, and you'll get to see your boy. All right, thank you so much. See you guys later. Bye.
Later.